I didn't want to like get this morbid topic in here, but it is really, and I think for me, last year was very, very exponential in terms of growth because I was challenged in so many ways, and I'm still processing it so I can teach it to other people. But I think the main thing was it helped me to grow unbeatable trust in myself
Mhm.
and to grow roots in myself. And I think that's one of the lessons that I shared when I was writing about the 5 lessons that I learned in 2022. For me, that was the biggest one, is that a lot of people challenged me, as in, you're going to just take off and wander around trying to find your home. But in the end, you will have to find a home base. And I was like, I understand your point of view, but right now, this is not what I feel that I need to be doing.
Yeah.
And then you get all these society timelines. They're like, oh, but you're gonna like I'm celebrating my 39th birthday in 2 weeks. So then obviously the root of all evil is that you compare yourself to so many people in your age. And then you
Right.
come to the conclusion, wow, like everybody has like these beautiful homes and these houses
Families.
and families and cars and like super fancy travels. And then I was like, wow, and I'm the one who's running around with 2 suitcases and, and emerged in like new ways of therapy and really driven by curiosity and reading a lot of books and it's a very different, sometimes it gets to me. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I second guess it. I was like, wow, maybe I
Yeah,
have taken wrong decisions. But then again, you know,
I totally feel it, Just today I had a call with friends and it was another friend is getting married. I'm going to the wedding of almost one of my last best friends who is not yet married. They are all having kids and I'm here, doing what? Sometimes I'm like, what am I doing? But at the same time, there are two things that people told me. One was maybe the journey is what you do. Maybe that you travel is you do that. And then another thing, which was by the way said by the guy who I already quoted, my friend Jacob, he said, when you travel, everything is much faster. Like you meet
yeah,
more people, you you have to
yeah,
deal with every time you move to a new place, have to look for, where do I go for coffee? Do they have a good internet if I need to work there? Can I plug my computer there? That what happened to me like 2 days
yeah.
ago. Where do I go to gym? How do I, like, so many things that change around. Food tastes different when you cook. Even like I cooked yesterday something, and, and I saw the result and I was like, same ingredients, doesn't look the same. What's happened here? So
Yes.
there's this extra speed in the traveling, right? Uh,
Yeah. Yeah. Your life is definitely more intense because um, there is no predictability. And so, from a brain perspective, it will take also a lot more energy. So, people who move around a lot, the ones who thrive are the ones who have a very solid practice of self awareness because you really need to listen to what your body needs at a given point because it is very much exposing yourself to novelty constantly and then playing with the meaning that you give it. And people who, because there is one point in time where I was in Bali, for instance, like the digital nomad paradise. Frankly, I know that you introduced me as I don't feel like a digital nomad. I was like, yeah, I'm just me trying to figure out my house, like trying to find my place under the sun. And I do work online, but I don't know if I'm a digital nomad. I don't know because I also like, you know, I don't know. I don't know if I'm, but anyway, semantics. But my point being is like, I was in Bali and I met so many digital nomads,
hmm.
and half of them were very anxious. Half of them were very hiding behind their laptop and not really feeling it. And I think it's an opportunity. I mean, I saw it as an opportunity to teach them that um, that they need to take care of themselves, that they can't be a digital nomad and then try to conform certain ways of living as they were doing when they were not being a digital nomad.
Hmm.
Like if you take that leap, you have to be all in everything, which means that your routine is going to change. Your sleep pattern sometimes changes. At least for me, when I'm in countries that are very warm. For instance, in November, I was in Africa. I am not a morning person, not at all. If people tell me you need to wake up at 5, I was like, yeah, ciao, I'm not doing it. But in Africa, it was so easy. I was up at 5:30 in the morning feeling like super fit and super active. And it was a really interesting thing to observe within myself. And then now I'm in the south of Spain, which is a completely different lifestyle. It's a completely
Yeah.
different climate. It's a completely different way of organizing. For instance, here, I need to go on the pace of the city, and between 2 and 5 or 2 and 6, everything is closed. So if I want to have lunch at 3, I can until 4, but then between 4 and 8, all the restaurants are closed. So if I want to have an early dinner, forget it. I will have to do it at home, right? And it's really
Yeah.
interesting that you constantly challenge yourself. But in that process, it is so important that you really create this practices, like what you said, working out. I don't like the gym that much, but I work out every day, at least half an hour. And I have an app with an amazing trainer, and I love her. And I do that half an hour to an hour a day. I go for my walk every freaking day because otherwise I'm not leaving my house. And sometimes I go to a co-working space, but not too much. And it's what you said, it's constantly finding that rhythm again, that predictability, and knowing that when you move to a new location, you need to move in a time frame where you do not have massive deliverables, because
Well,
energy
yeah.
wise you can't combine that. When I move to a different location, the first week I chill because I need to like adjust, to grab myself, figure out the area, figuring out, okay, where are my happy places, like what is the wine bar that I can go to, what is the
Yeah.
bakery that I can go to, just like you said, like what is the local fauna and flora like, etc. And then after a week of like getting into a routine, then you get to go.